Hello there. I was just retweeting right there, right as the countdown was going on, and you guys all interrupted me. What are you guys doing? Oh wait, you're joining the show here. Welcome to T3PO Live. Happy to have you as part of this program right here. We have so much news to get to. It's interesting because today is April 1st, and you would think, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and have a little April Fools get together or mash up or something special, something or another. But I gotta be honest, we can't really do that because there is so much news in order to get to. It's crazy. Companies, what are you doing? Why are you releasing stuff at April Fools? That's a bad move just to begin with. But alas, it appears that a lot of theme park companies, entertainment studios are unveiling all kinds of news on this April Fool's Day right here. And I see we have some amazing people in the chat right there. Look at that. We've got Theme Park Wizard. Wizard, do you want to look at today's show? I know you have to join your lunch break, so if you do, let me know. I'll go ahead and send you one. I may have forgotten that myself, but I see Go and Shogi in the chat right there. I see Tom F in the chat, and one of our panelists in the chat as well. Let's go ahead and bring on those panelists right now because they are what make this show as amazing as it is. And one of my favorite people of all time, it is the one, the only Erica and Raph from Erica and Raph. That's what I meant. Sorry, I'm all discombobulated today. Thank you so much, Erica, for joining me on the program here.
Thanks for having me. I love talking theme parks.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, and Wizard wants a link. I'll go ahead and send it to you right now. But before we get to Wizard here, it is the Hollywood Spectre with the good nectar? I don't know. I'm still working on that. Still workshopping it. We'll get to it eventually. But it is the one, the only LW Ghost. Lou, how you doing today?
Pretty good, but I'm feeling more smirched than Spectre right now, so that's life.
Well, life indeed. Well, hopefully, as Erica said, theme park related conversation will have you right up right there.
Absolutely.
And to help us with that is, well, our good friend here, Nolan Thunder. Hello there, Nolan. How are you doing today, sir?
Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are all.
Well, that was quick.
Oh,
I
sorry about that. I don't know what happened there.
Nolan
StreamYard.
Thunder, the name's
That was
so
a
good they
StreamYard
named it
problem
twice.
right there.
I
That
don't
was
know.
not me,
he's
Nolan. Sorry.
rolling.
I thought this was like an April Fool's Day joke or something. Well, I was talking earlier about how one of my favorite parts of this holiday, maybe I'm kind of a madman for this, but I'm always excited for the end of the day news when we find out which company got in hot water for a poor taste April Fool's joke or something.
Yes.
That's a good. That's
I love
point
your
right there.
Nintendo shirt and your hat.
Thank you. I learned from the best.
Aren't you?
Learn from the best, I see. Well, you know what? You know who has the best hats on the planet Earth right now? It is the one, the only Ron from Follow the Bradley's Fun. Ron! What is going on, good day,
Hello
sir?
there. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear
Oh,
you.
yes.
And you're joining us Straight from the Pro Show. Thank you so much for joining us today. I
Straight
know
from
it's
the Pro Show, which means, well, what I was going to say is I'm going to have to take a break and then come back to this show. And I wanted to let you know that,
Oh, okay.
that I'm
I see.
here, but I'm not here, but then I'll be here. And so it's kind of like April Fool's, but I really will be back. I promise.
Okay.
So-
Well, as long as you are back, because we have a great Walt
Really?
Disney World story
Oh,
that I want to
I
cover
was
with
just going
you.
to say,
Oh, please.
okay, I'll be back soon. But I was going to say, do I need to go vote today? And then I realized, no, I'm not in one of those districts because I think there's some voting today in at least one of the Florida districts to replace Gates. Yeah,
Yeah, Gates is open seat,
that's right.
right?
So that's happening. That's a local thing, though.
Interesting.
Hey,
Yeah,
Ron,
yeah.
when does
It's,
Florida voting
so-
happen to
But
replace Bob
that's
Iger?
not
When
that's
does
not
that
my district.
Right. Yeah, what is it?
We
Vote
can
with
only-
the.
You sound
We
like a
can
waiter
only
saying
list-
you're not my
oh.
table.
happen?
Yeah. oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, no. But oh my gosh, I will tell you. I got a story about that. I'll save it for a different time. But there is a story. Of a table that I could not take one time when I was working at Disney World. Ooh. I can't do it right
Oh.
now though.
I like
So
stories.
Oh,
I will be
all
back.
right. Well,
I will be
you
back.
got it,
He'll
sir.
be back.
Not even a problem. Thank you so much, Ron. We'll have you back on. Like I said, though, there's a great Walt Disney World
I'll be
story that I need
back.
Ron's help in order to cover. Yes, we will see you later. But who will be joining us right now? Well, it is the one, the only theme park wizard. Wizard! What's going on, good sir?
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, good sir.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us as part of your life right
Your
now, because
ghoulish
I know
pallor
you are
displays
joining
an
from
aura
lunch break.
of foreboding.
Not bad. And we also have the Pro Ray coming on in here. So we have about 100 or so of you joining us right now. That is awesome stuff. Thank you so much for staying on with us for this great, amazing theme park coverage. And
Raiders
to
of the
this-
Lost Pro? I guess. Yeah, right.
Raiders of the Lost Pro, indeed. To start this theme park coverage, though, I want to take it over to entertainment just for a second. Now, we have been covering Snow White and Rachel Zegler and that whole controversy pretty extensively here. What I want to go over right now is the box office and what implications it might have on the theme park's business. Because, well, Disney's got to make up that money somewhere. They can't just take a huge, multi-million-dollar loss on the books for their screw-up with Snow White. They got to make it up. And make it up they shall, and that is probably going to be with the theme parks. Let me go ahead and put this on screen right now. Here we go from Luis Fernando. Snow White finally crossed the 100 million mark at global box office after grossing 22.1 million on second weekend overseas, a harsh 50% drop from opening. And yes, folks, it is a very, very, very harsh drop indeed. It was actually more harsh domestically, suffering. This article says right here 70%, kind of 66%, but I mean, what's a percentage point between friends? Anyway, it was beaten out by Chuck Dixon's, A Working Man, which for a $300+ million tentpole, that's no good right there. That is very, very bad. Luis goes on to say, it's eyeing a $215 to $235 million cume at the global box office by the time this is all done with, folks. This is really bad. Wizard, I know you saw the film. What's your take on all this?
Well, I still can't get past Gal Gadot's song. It really hurt my ears.
No,
But
it's terrible.
but it's unfortunate, they lost a lot of money because, when you look at, say, Disneyland Forward or things like that, some of that money that was in the lost category could have gone towards a nice new ride or maybe speeding up the construction process of another ride towards Disneyland. So, very unfortunate that they had a few flops in a row recently, Mr. Disney.
Yeah, and a few flops in a row indeed. This one being, I think, the biggest one that I've ever really seen right here. Deadline has a prediction that they'll lose, what is it, $115 million because of this film doing so poorly at the box office.
I would
Please.
point everybody at Valiant's video from, was it yesterday or the day before, where he totally tears this article apart.
Yes.
That's not even close to what they're going to lose.
No.
One of the little interesting factoids in this article, though, you know how much merch the new Snow White has sold total? 2 million. Just 2.
2 million.
Yeah. That's not just scary, awful for them, but it means that all the merch makers are going to drive harder and harder bargains in order to get involved with them again.
Exactly. And that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt them down the line for sure. And to pull my best Valiant impression right here, here you go. So it's very complicated, and I use some very simple calculations in order to formulate some of what you're seeing on screen right here. And the fact of the matter is look, New York Times is reporting that this is at least a $350 million film. We suspect it might be more here at that park place, but if we take that number into account, right, and maybe add on $100 million for print and advertisement, which I believe Disney may have limited their promotion for this movie, knowing how bad it was going to be. That takes their total investment to what, $450 million, and then you take off maybe $100 million for the UK filming, tax incentives, and so forth that they give out. You're talking about something of a total net investment of $350 million at the end of the day. Then when you look at the global box office, this thing had to clear $800 million at least in order to make its money back based on the returns that they see from theaters. And again, that's a very loose average out right there. So you're talking, you're talking at least $250 million, if not more. That's realistically what we're seeing right here. And what's most damaging about this is what Theme Park Wizard was saying earlier. That's less money to be invested in the theme parks. And honestly, that's more incentive by Disney to get rid of more entertainment options, to lesser the experience in order to reduce operating costs and charge more. This is tough, not just for...
Can I let one of
Snow
my
White, but-
all-time Wizards, gurus, advisors sum it up for you?
Please.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
That's it. That's it, exactly. Sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb. Nolan, I want to go to you real fast, and I'll go to Erica. Nolan, I mean, what kind of implications might we be looking at with a bomb this bad? Do you think they'll change anything at the studio level? And what does that mean for parks?
Well, usually in these instances, this kind of bomb would leave immense devastation that we'd have the ripple effects for decades and decades to come, and people would do school reports on it. But no, seriously though, I think when it comes to Disney and their mentality for the live action remake, I think a lot of it is going to come down to, in a few months here, or if not sooner, when Lilo and Stitch comes out. Because I was on the hype train of, my goodness, we're finally going to be done with the live action remakes. Like, I didn't even like them when they weren't woke. I just like, they're unnecessary, they're dumb, and we didn't need them. And unfortunately, I think this Lilo and Stitch one is going to be pretty decent. It looks like it was pretty competently made, and which, I hate to say it, please don't flame me for this, but I was really hoping that would bomb too, because I don't want any more of these. I want them to make original content. That's how I felt when I saw Snow White in the first place. I want them to pivot. But if I know one thing that the Walt Disney Company is going to do at this point, because I know Lilo and Stitch is going to make $1 billion, is they're going to continue to go with IP that already exists, at least outside of the Pixar spectrum, and we already know they're planning sequels. But at that, I do think we'll see a little less of the main character being, race swapped, sexuality swapped, whatever have you. But they're still going to try to align with, because they even said in like the shareholders meeting or whatever that happened here recently, that they weren't going to go to the center with politics and get out of it. They're still going to stick to their guns, basically. So I think you're going to still be seeing that, just not on the big scale. Maybe the villain will be race swap. Maybe it'll be a minor character or some little plot changes. But I don't think anything will be as drastic as Snow White going forward, at least in my opinion.
But the question is, will this teach a lesson to the rest of the industry? So far, nope. We just saw this week that they've announced that Meryl Streep is going to do the voice of Aslan in the live action of The Lion, the Witch, the Wardrobe, etc., etc.
I think technically that's a rumor, but yes. Indeed,
Yeah,
I think
well,
you're right.
So, and then the question is, does Aslan still have a mane, or is it a female lion image? And golly, that way lies madness.
Erica, let's wrap us up here real fast. I mean, does anything change going forward with Disney? Does anything change going on with Hollywood? And can Disney somehow recoup from this?
No, I think Disney was ready to just get this done and over with, move on, and just kind of face the music. And I think they just kind of want to sweep it under the rug like it never happened. And moving forward, they might get a little better. They may learn a small, tiny lesson. But at the same time, they seem to be using Ziegler as their scapegoat. And they're still not taking any responsibility for their part in completely destroying the storyline. So even if she were the nice girl, who said all the right things, it wouldn't have changed the content of the film, which was a complete contrast to what we got in 1937. So it still, I think, would have been a bad movie. And there just would have been more of a switch and bait and switch probably. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have much.
You also have to
I don't
remember,
have much faith.
You have to remember these films are not paid for out of a big piggy bank somewhere. They are paid for with loans. Therefore, the gift that keeps on giving is the interest payments on those loans that go off far into the future, and how much harder it will be to negotiate new ones when this is your example of how you handle their money.
Right. This is a big mess right here, and may have tanked not only one but two careers associated with it, that being Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler. We'll have to see what the enormous fallout will be in Hollywood on the Hollywood front of it. I think my concern from a theme park fan is they're gonna have to make up for that loss. It always comes down to theme parks.
And as a theme park man, as we are, man and woman,
Right.
I would call everybody's attention to my little editorial on that Park Place this over the weekend about the what ifs of Snow White. And the last one is, as I've said before, what if you're a family that doesn't follow all the controversy, doesn't pay attention to all, you're too busy like bringing up your kids and going to work and paying the rent and what have you, and you just go to the movie. And then you take a trip to Disneyland and you go on Snow White's Scary Adventures, and that's not the Snow White you saw in the movie. Those aren't the dwarves you saw in the movie. It's like, these aren't the dwarves you're looking for. How do you handle that disconnect? It's going to be real interesting. It's going to be real interesting.
Indeed. You can read, actually, L.W. Coast's editorial right here if you are so inclined. I would very highly recommend that you read that, because he is a fantastic writer and brings up a lot of great points that I think the company should be considering when it comes to these brand deposit films like Snow White. Wizard, I'm going to be relying on you for this one, though. This is quite the story right here. We have a range of Epic Universe news kind of scattered about, so I like to call it the Epic Universal Roundup.
And Wizard is presaging it with that image he's put up, isn't he? Or some of it.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
Oh
I
yes, indeed.
recognized it.
Ah, a couple days ago, apparently, for the first time ever, the Battle for the Ministry attraction was able to actually function enough to hold test previews for. And apparently, there might be a POV out there. I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure about that. But people were able to ride on this. We should be getting our first reviews thusly for this experience. I know they've been having some problems. Wizard, what can you tell us about this specific attraction without spoiling it? Of course.
Well, I've seen this, but I think it was running for such a short amount of time, like maybe a half hour, that I don't know how many people actually got to go on it. But I know people that were in line for it and then it broke down. So I'm not sure exactly what's happening on the ride, but I do know that image right there you see is part of the queue, and I know many people, including a good friend of mine, Universal High, who went through that queue and said it is jaw-dropping and more stunning than the Rise of the Resistance reveal when you come out of the uh, the Star Destroyer section there. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, I think theme park obsession or Dylan over there actually said that he was blown away by this specific reel that you're actually seeing on screen right now, which is fantastic. You can see Wallen Ballins, which by the way we'll be going to a lot here, his breakdown of what may have happened according to his reports. I think Wizard, I think you're right. It ran for such a brief period of time that not many people got to experience it, which is why we haven't seen reviews. But the fact that they're starting this preview process with this attraction, which is supposed to be very problematic, I think is a very, very good thing. But on to maybe
I've heard they
worse
wanted, by the way,
news
to the first media day is April 5th, which I think is Saturday, and I heard they really want this attraction up and running for that day. So I think they're working very hard on it. I've heard that the problem with the attraction, it's almost like a Rise of the Resistance problem where they're having trouble with the vehicles going over certain little sensors. Same thing here. I guess they have little QR codes that the vehicles go over, and they either installed them the wrong way or the vehicles are having trouble reading them. But that's really the main, because all the animatronics and stuff they're all working, but it's really the ride vehicles going over those QR codes, and the timing is giving them an issue there.
yikes. Dang it. Well, whenever you do something this ambitious, you're bound to have problems. And well, we might be having problems a bit with this attraction. We'll have to see what happens here. I want to go ahead and switch gears for just a second and really get your thoughts on this and the panels. This is where things kind of start taking a little bit of turn for the worse here. We'll see. This one, Wallen Ballin Universal has trimmed some of its live entertainment offerings inside of Celestial Park. The guest responses to live entertainment within the four lands has been extravagant. The guest response to the live entertainment offerings within Celestial Park itself have not been great, and Universal has noticed this. We saw roving bands of entertainment teams as recently as yesterday in Celestial Park, so it is currently unclear whether new entertainment concepts are being already implemented, or if Universal will take their time rolling out some new ideas. Sadly, it's been confirmed that a number of team members were cut and not transferred to other entertainment groups. But here's hoping that Universal welcomes them back once the new entertainment ideas have been unveiled. Wizard, what can you tell us about this?
Ooh, we're being bored by a bus
So
or
it looks
something.
it looks like the like you said, the entertainment in the four lands, it's pretty cool. But I guess it just wasn't working out in the Celestial Park. Now, I still think they should have gave it like a week or two with the actual public to see how the reception was,
agree.
because team member previews, the park had limited hours, so it's hard to tell if the people didn't like the entertainment in Celestial Park, or they just want to get to as many rides as possible and like not watch the shows in Celestial Park,
Or
hard to tell
found
which
them
one it
inferior to the
actually
stuff
was.
in the lands.
Yeah. So, I guess Universal decided they didn't like that because there's specifically two pieces of entertainment. There was like a performance, a musical, like band in that band shell area, and then some walk around character. But they're, I guess, developing new idea for that stage and maybe some more walk around characters to debut either with the park or a little bit after the park. But yeah, it does kind of suck because we don't know what was cut because we didn't get to see it. Only the team members did, so we don't know if it was actually good or not, or they just judged basically what the team members reacted to it. But hopefully, some new entertainment does come by the summertime that everyone can see, and not just team members.
This is why you do soft openings and trials and experiments, and you find out what works and what doesn't. Because
Right.
what's that old thing about no plan ever survives contact with the enemy? That's life in the theme park biz. So I'm glad they're fixing it rather than saying, no, we're right. We're Disney. We're God. You will like it and you will watch it until we decide you will not. So, yeah.
Nolan, Erica, do you disagree? Agree?
You'd think that these staff members wouldn't have to be cut with all the cuts they already had to make with all the people leaking out the information to the press. I mean, that was
We'll get to that in just
that
a
was
second.
a good amount.
Right.
But no, I'm glad they are testing the waters instead of, have a big launch and things might go a bit so-so with live entertainment. Because let's be real here, we're in the social media age, the first major theme park opening in the social age. Once you get that rep, it never goes away. We're going to probably be holding Disney accountable for, the roof falling in, the sewage issue. I could probably make a list of all the things they've gotten wrong over the years because they do it to themselves. But if they're able to avoid some embarrassments, I'm okay with that. And 10 years from now, it gives me a thing to nerd out about stuff that was left on the cutting room floor that didn't make it to opening day. I think it makes sense. I am sorry to see these cast members go. And I hope, as long as they were good employees, I hope they come back.
Erica?
Yeah, I got nothing. I'm just so excited about it. And
Well, maybe you'll have something about this next point that we're going to make right here.
Sorry, Vash. One more thing about entertainment.
Please.
The entertainment for the nighttime stuff, that would be the more questionable one because Universal not really promoting that. So we don't know if the fireworks show will be available the first few months or if it's or not because obviously it's in the concept art, but Universal so far had made no official talk about it, or they didn't just when they were talking about entertainment they didn't mention it. So that one's a bit questionable with the nighttime spectaculars.
I can't imagine them opening without it.
Night,
I can't imagine them opening without it.
But you'll probably see it. I mean, yeah, they probably will, but I'm sure they're trying to get it ready to go for opening night, definitely the immediate night. But there's something to keep an eye on because it looks great, the testing portions.
Yeah, this is the testing for the fountain that's right in front of the Helios Hotel right there. Almost look like Bellagio fountains, but that mainstream right there is very tall. that is very high. I'm hopeful that they have a robust entertainment package here, especially at night, in order to keep people there for longer. But Wizard makes some very interesting points indeed, which is why he is here with us right now. I definitely
wait. You mean they have a fountain in the middle of this? Didn't they learn the Epcot lesson? You take out the fountain and you put in ugly concrete with lights that doesn't work? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
With questionable shapes and patterns? That is the Disney way. But that's not
putting
the...
it lightly.
Yeah, exactly. Erica knows what I'm talking about.
Florida's too hot for fountains.
Well, you see, this is why I'm thinking it's a Disney problem because Bob Iger, something happened when he was a child around fountains because he is just hell bent on getting rid of every single fountain.
Nobody gets a shower but him.
Look, this is what happened. Yeah, he needs all the water for his 2 showers. So that's why he can't waste any water. He needs it all for himself and his 2 showers per day.
This is fantastic. Well, something that's not so fantastic, however, rumors are swirling this from Wall and Bond as well, that over 300 Universal team members have been fired due to conduct of either themselves or their guests for Epic Universe previews. Now he goes on to say that might actually be double the amount. And folks, from what I'm hearing on this tweet right here. There's even a team member who pulled their phone out on Mario Kart who got fired on the upload platform immediately on the spot.
Good.
Wow.
We even have
make
some
rules.
people.
You tell people to follow them. If they don't, goodbye.
Indeed. We even have some people who are putting up GoFundMes.
Oh,
What?
God.
For what?
This is a
Oh,
crazy
this
aspect
right
of the
here is
story.
that's an April Fool's joke.
Oh, was it?
Okay.
Yes, if you look on
Oh,
the
go for it.
Happy April Fool's Day,
It was
everybody.
March 31st. Come
Yeah.
on, you
if
gotta put it on
if you
April
look
1st
the-
if that's
if
the case.
they put on a link to a YouTube video, and then there's like just a music video. The POV.
Oh.
It's a total April Fool's joke. Yeah, I think
Is it
he
a
posted it
Rickroll?
like kind of later on, so it's probably maybe on April 1st, like East Coast time. But from when I saw it, it was like yesterday. So yeah. So I was like,
Yeah,
dang. And I
look,
was like, oh, it's an April Fool's joke. Yeah. So that's weird.
7:26
But
p.m.
he's
That's my time, so it would have been
little-
10.
Yeah,
East
so it's a
Coast.
little early, but yeah, April Fools.
Man.
Well, Vash, your
Okay,
time's not even real in the first place. But yeah, no, they're a little off the beat there.
Now, Wizard, what have you been hearing about this? Because I've been hearing a lot of stuff about this. Apparently, there was a directive provided by Universal saying that, hey, look, listen, this is for family members of team members, not for necessarily anybody else. Wink, wink, nod, nod. They were, a lot of people took that as influencers and people who would otherwise upload this content to other platforms right here. Wizard, this is kind of a huge deal here, because if we're talking double 300, and these parks, I would assume hire anybody between what you're probably looking at 7,000 or 10,000 team members per park. That's like almost like a tenth of your workforce right here. What's going on?
Yeah, lots of people have been fired, and I've seen lots of little YouTube. It's really the TikTok things that I've seen, YouTube Shorts and TikToks of portals, and actually straight up the monsters ride, the animatronic coming right at you. Someone got that. What they do is people are they film with the Facebook Meta glasses, and they just go and wear them and film everything and upload it. And it seems like, my goodness, these are not true friends, these family or team members, people, because, like, I don't know, why do you want to get your team member friend fired? That's cold. So I feel like these people are definitely not true friends to whoever they're bringing in, but hopefully they're getting a lead on it. I think they're trying to crack down even more with the grasses somehow. But like I said, Media Day is April 5th, which is Saturday. So after that,
Hang on, Wizard. Hang
Robots
on. You're
got
coming
in.
You're coming in a little rough here. You're coming in a little rough. One more time, Wizard.
how about now?
Oh, even worse.
bad.
Even worse. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and kick you in the back in the back room there just for a second. Rejoin the stream, and we'll have you back on here. I just want to make sure that we hear all your thoughts. 'cause
I
think
have
it's
no
super
sympathy
interesting.
for these people. I have no sympathy for them at all.
Right.
If you can't follow these rules, what other rules of your employment are you breaking?
Not
you
to
can't be
mention-
trusted. You can't be trusted. It's that simple.
Not to mention, to your point, Lou, however, everyone here and in the audience feels about, whether they should be this hard on the rules or not, all the stuff we've been hearing about in some other parks, where there's been some fighting going on, some gang wars and stuff like that, and the stuff going on in Disney. It sounds like Universal's pretty tight on those rules as far as they'll fire their own people right on the spot. So I will say, when that opening week happens, for all the people going down there, make sure if you hear rules about cameras, you follow them, because it sounds like they're pretty serious that they'll kick people out. So,
Yeah.
they seem like they run a tight ship there.
Let's remember
You're not
that Robespierre in the French Revolution said that the guillotine was, quote, pour encourager les autres, to encourage others not to fall out. It wasn't about killing the people they killed. It was about, for everyone they killed, they scared 1,000 into not doing what they would have done otherwise. That's life.
Erica?
Well, yeah, I got a different perspective, and y'all are not gonna like it.
No, please.
So someone who's overseas and misses having intel on theme parks, having family that worked for theme parks. Thank you for taking one for the team, because I scare very easily. So I kind of like to know what I'm getting into on some attractions before I go on them. So looking at the dark universe, the the Frankenstein one. Yeah, I know it's not popular, but
The employee that
kinda
recorded the
helped
Mario
me
Kart
out.
ride, the employee that did the Mario Kart
That
ride, he got
system.
fired and
I
was like,
mean,
"This one's for Erica."
no, the Dark Universe one. Yeah, that one was for me. Mario, no,
Well,
you need to record that. There's nothing scary about that.
but Erica, since it doesn't open to you and the public and the rest of us until May, you're
Mhm.
going to see real reviews from real people before then that'll tell you everything you need to know about what you wouldn't like and what might be too scary. We don't need them
It's
this
not the
early.
same. Not the
No?
same.
Okay.
Nope. If I scared that if I could, it's like the scare houses at Halloween Horror Nights. If I watch the video first, maybe,
But would it be
maybe
better
I
if
could be into going.
would it be better though if video, because people are bound to record some of this stuff in any way they can. Would it be
Mhm.
better if they instead held back, or upon opening, then you had people actually record this and
Yeah,
have people
that's
go
true.
out there?
But Universal's also known to not really be vlogger friendly. They're known to
Yeah,
not really be allowed to record a whole lot on the attractions.
sure.
So in that sense, it's a little bit of a downfall for anyone who maybe would like to kind of see it to gauge, okay, can I handle that? Can I not? I'm one of those people. Depending on the attraction, depends if, yeah, I'm just weird like that. Especially with an attraction like the Frankenstein one, that reading the
Yeah,
reviews
Monsters
scared me
Unchained.
enough.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I'm like, I don't know if I want to go on it now because it sounds really scary, and I scare easily. But when I saw the video, the short on Instagram, I was like, well, it doesn't look too bad. Maybe I could handle it. Uh, yeah, I'm just weird like that.
That's
But
fine.
I have weird phobias to like scary stuff.
No, give me
Erica,
one
that's
second
not
here.
weird. That's a valid argument, honestly. I feel like there's a great argument to be made on the whole recording on rides thing, period. I've been on parks, where they'll shut down the whole ride if someone has like their phone out or a GoPro because, certain rides are more aggressive than others. Personally, it's always trying to combat, it has to do with guest safety and avoiding lawsuits, and trying to uphold, a certain standard of the parks. And like with any sort of like HR issue, however you want to word it, there's, that gray area where it gets really hard. I kind of wish, a lot of these companies would be more transparent where it's like, no, you absolutely can't have your phone on the ride. But if you have like, I don't know what the Facebook thing's called. It reminds me of Google Lens back in the day, if anyone remembers that, where, you have the glasses and it can record things. Maybe if they were like, okay, if you're a vlogger or an influencer, you can do this, but you can't do that, and then work it out in between.
Mhm.
But then again, also sometimes, like Lou was saying, the firm slap on the hand, it makes a great example
Yeah.
and can lead to, a better park. So it's one of those, it's never going to be perfect. You're going to put Band-Aid on a
Yeah.
leak, and it's going to leak somewhere else. We just have to choose what kind of situation we're in. But I don't think it's necessarily a weird thing with you, because those POV videos for people who do like documentaries and stuff on roller coasters, those things are a godsend and a blessing. So I get you there.
Oh yeah, I won't go on a roller coaster unless I do the POV first, and then I will decide if it's maybe okay or not okay, and then the second phase for me is I have to be in front of the coaster itself and gauge for myself. 50-50 shot. Yeah, that I know.
I'm not in any way questioning your ability and right to preview this stuff to see what will appeal or won't appeal to you. I'm just saying the timing when they were told specifically not to
Yeah.
doesn't impede that for you one way or the other.
Yeah.
And
Well said.
Yeah, yeah,
I have
exactly.
heard there's a very thorough process to vet everybody, and you sign paperwork, and I mean
I heard about that. I heard the team members signed. Didn't they sign an agreement that?
Yep.
I mean,
And again,
looking-
if
I mean,
they
I'm looking-
disregard that, what else are they disregarding about their obligations at work?
And that's
True.
the thing
Yeah.
too.
and
If
if
they
I
do
worked
it,
for them, I would follow the rules because this is such an amazing park, and the last thing I'd want to do is jeopardize my employer, especially if I respect them and love them so much. I wouldn't want to do
Right.
anything to jeopardize that relationship I have with them. So on that note, yeah, but as someone who's not employed by them and won't be,
I'm
I'm a
I'm s-
little on that rogue side. Thanks.
I'm sympathetic to the team members who didn't break any rules themselves, brought somebody in who they thought they could trust, and then that trust was broken. I
I
don't
don't
know how
know.
prevalent what that was, but you can
I
see right
have a
here
I have a
how.
feeling most of these team members knew and they were just willing to risk it. I think they thought they weren't going to get caught.
There you go.
Well,
Look at this. Look at this.
You can see right here some team members taking
What are they
this.
doing?
Why would you post this?
They are forcing the family members in their party to cover their phones with tape, just as a extra insurance that the team member bringing them in won't get fired for any footage that they take. Whether and some people like by happenstance, it's like, oh, let me go ahead and record this experience like I would anything else, and it's like you can't do that. So that's what's going on here. Wizard, I want to go ahead and bring you back into this conversation. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Oof.
even worse than before.
I'm the cutest. A Borg.
He's speaking R2D2.
Yeah, he's. Let me see here. Let me see if I can translate with you real fast here.
By the way, these
Um,
previews with the families and the so-called friends and free, right?
Yes,
So you
indeed.
see my point.
I mean, I
Oh,
get
yeah,
it, but I was blessed to go to the Animal Kingdom preview before it opened to the public. But back then, you're talking, this was 1997,
Right.
96, 97. And they didn't have phones and the internet like we do today. So, but
The internet didn't even exist.
back then it was 110 and 35 millimeter cameras.
Right.
Was the
stills.
thing, but we
Or an 8
were
millimeter
allowed
movie.
to take stills.
But that
We
that
were
was
allowed to take
before the
stills.
social
But
media
that was
era.
before, you couldn't just, exactly.
You just get a weird eBay listing. I guess eBay wasn't even out yet then either, but it's like you take a picture in Animal Kingdom. It's like, hey guys, we need to get this photo out. Let's list it on a Craigslist or something like that. See how many clicks we can get.
Yeah, I mean it's the social media era changes everything. This is why Nolan. That's why you brought it up before, because it has its benefits and it has its downsides. And to spoil things before Universal Studios would like that information out there, this is a $7 billion investment. They're going to protect it any way they possibly can. And apparently they are looking at those meta glasses and screening for those before letting people in. And they're going to protect it any way they can, and they absolutely have a right to do so. I'm sympathetic to the people who may have not known that this was going to happen to them. For the people who did, though, I kind of take a loose opinion on this. Wizard, are you there?
How about now? I switched the audio to CarPlay.
Beautiful.
Oh, okay,
Very
great.
good.
Okay, so so what did I say? To Erica's earlier point, I totally get the POV thing because I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm kind of curious. I don't mind to be spoiled, so I'm kind of curious what the ride looks like before I get on it. But that's what the media day is for, because you'll have people like Attraction 360, LMG Vids do with their high quality cameras, getting you some really good 4K POVs instead of these YouTube short things. So you really get the whole ride in high HD quality on media day when they're allowed to record, and then you can see the whole ride. By May 22nd, there should be a POV of every single ride. Some of them, like Donkey Kong and Mario Kart and Yoshi, you can see right now because they're the same as the other parks. But like Monsters Unchained, there should be a pretty good POV from like Attraction 360 because media day is on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. That's what's going on there in the Epic Universe side of things. I think this is very, very interesting how Universal is going about debuting this new park here, how they are, enforcing, let's say, codes of conduct when within it. And
And especially because it's free. Because the reason I make that point, I have a dear friend who is a Broadway conductor, And he's been on shows where they're on tour. They're in LA, they're in Boston. They're all these so-called tryout performances before they get to Broadway. And you know what? The show changes every night. They make some changes, but they're charging full boat prices to the audience to watch them experiment. That never seemed right to me. But when it's free and it comes with certain conditions, you have an obligation to follow those conditions, especially if you're employed by the company.
Well said.
Well said. I like that. I like that a lot. Well, switching gears here for just a second to something I both like and both dislike. I don't know, and you'll get what I'm saying when I actually bring this up on screen here. It was the first day of Seasons of the Force there at Disneyland back on March 28th. That was the Friday. And for Season of the Force, they usually do quite a bit of things for that. New food, new merch. Also, to Space Mountain will get its Star Wars overlay. Hyperspace Mountain, I believe, is what that's called. And for this celebration, they broke out a few things that people maybe didn't have on their rosters.
Before we go any further,
please.
That's a typical day. That's not staged models, right? A whole 6 people in there.
That's a pretty good.
He's not wrong.
Pretty good observation.
He's not wrong at all.
Yes. No, he's not wrong right there. They brought out a new projection show, which is very, very cool. We'll get into that in just a second. But I think everybody's going to want to have their eyes on this guy right here. This being the Luke Skywalker character actor that they brought out for Season of the Force at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. This is one of the first times that we've ever seen a prominent original era trilogy character like this be featured in the land in this way. Obviously, we've had R2-D2 make appearances before. We've had Chewbacca make appearances, but never like this, never for regular paying guests. I think this was a big, big move right here. Now, he is kind of the Return of the Jedi / Mandalorian era Luke Skywalker. So he's consistent with maybe Boba Fett, Fennec Shan, Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Grogu, those characters being featured already in the land. This is a big, big step right here. Your guys is taking all of this, and also too, well, a lot of people are talking about it. The actor himself. What do you have to say about all of this?
I gotta say, it's nice to actually have people walking through the park now. Now we'll have the meet and greet characters going, but why in the world is this a limited time thing? I think he looks close enough to Luke. You know, I'm used to cosplays and stuff like that. I mean, this isn't like, it doesn't need to be like 1 for 1. The costume's pretty good. I will accept this personally as a Star Wars fan here. I just want to know, why is this only on the West Coast and only for like a month or 2? Like, this is ridiculous. This should have been here years ago.
So apparently, it's being brought out for Season of the Force, but Luke Skywalker will remain going forward. That's a good thing right there. But yes, it is limited to Disneyland Resort right now. And again, I think that is only due to Season of the Force and all of that. I think a lot of people are commenting, though, on the actor himself and how he doesn't necessarily really embody the role, which is kind of unfortunate. I don't know. I don't know if I would have hired this guy. Go ahead.
Vash, no. Here's the thing. The thing. We already, because you know how, like with the other meet and greet characters, you know, they're trying to get the signature down, you know, the mannerisms of them and stuff. We've already learned Disney doesn't understand Luke Skywalker. So they can't figure it out themselves.
That's a good point. And this one point worth recognizing right here. Wizard, are you still there? What's your take on all of this? Because you go to Disney Resort a bit more frequently than I do nowadays. What's your take?
Well, I'm glad he's here, and I know they had a whole bunch of other walk-around characters. His look, I don't know. I don't know. He looks like, I guess he looks like someone's dressing up as Luke Skywalker, which I guess is what it is. But some other characters, I guess, look more real, or like they are the character versus like dressing up, cosplaying the character. But I do like that projection show that I saw some clips of. That looks super cool, and from what I heard, it's like super super sharp projections and like the best ones ever. So it looks really cool. I'm excited to see that. That would seem like my favorite of the whole seasons before here.
Yeah, I mean, this is this
Is
actually pretty
anybody else
impressive.
just irresistibly drawn to dropping something in the back of that hood when he walks away?
Oh man, let's see.
I am.
Yeah. That's a good point right there. I think the hood on would have been a better look. It was interesting because I was talking to somebody in the chat right here, actually Deborah, who had a lot of opinions about this character right here, specifically the wig and the quality of it. The wig is not so good, and I do agree with that assessment right
Guest
there.
on light.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking into this, and it might actually be a female wig that they're using right here, and one that they dressed up in order to embody the Luke-ness of it. But I just don't think they really nailed it. It really does look like a wig, which
Is that one of
really
those
unfortunate.
Etsy owls in the background there that they had at the shop over by Splash once upon a time?
No. Yeah, they have like this. They have these areas in this part of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge that I guess were supposed to be embodied by roles, but of course they never filled them, and so they're just out there with props and so forth. That's what you're seeing right there. But a huge response from this character being incorporated right here. Just you can see right there. This is from Five Fires. Huge.
I didn't even know
response.
Galaxy's Edge could house that many people. I've never seen it so crowded in my life.
yes. And I know Marvin.
Oh, hey, I just noticed. Freeze it right there.
Okay.
When we see that building with the marks on it to the right.
Sure.
Am I nuts? Or
Oh,
are those
boy.
Starship Enterprise logos?
I thought it was something else.
I don't think so. Some people have said it looks like Donald Duck. If you look at it from another
the
angle.
circle with the two nacelles is what I was talking about on the wall.
Right.
Well.
It's interesting.
It does look like
Go ahead, Erica.
Oh, it does look like Donald now that you mention it.
Right. You can see like the little flap on its brim there on the other side. It looks surprisingly like Donald Duck. It's kind of weird, but yes, people were very excited to see this character. And Marvin, I know you're out there, so I'm going to repeat it to you. This is not a mobbing of this character. This is a crowd, and he is able to walk through the crowd effortlessly in order to make his appearance in the land. That's not a mobbing. Okay, Disneyland Resort doesn't do that. But yeah. So there you go. I need to see more Luke, I guess. But I'm glad that perhaps this means that more original characters can be featured in here. They are alive according to the timeline. We'll see. But yes, what is it? This is Shadows of Memory: A Skywalker Saga. That's what they're calling this show in particular. Apparently, this is getting some rave reviews, which is awesome. Fantastic to hear. And it's actually separate from Fire of the Rising Moons. So Fire of the Rising Moons is the show that they have in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge that takes advantage of the fireworks already in progress for the park. So the park might play Mickey's Mixed Magic, which is terrible, or Wondrous Journeys and so forth, and you're getting a fireworks show up there. But when you see in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, you're seeing the same fireworks show, but set to music and lights that are completely different.
How much of
completely
this you
separate.
can see from the Twain?
You can't see any of it, actually. The Twain is...
Well, the peaks kind of stick up, don't they? No, I don't know.
Not these spires. The spires next to Rise of Resistance definitely peak up, but this is so removed. This is pretty segmented, which is nice. It's really interesting because this is an entirely different show. I thought they were going to incorporate this into the fireworks show. They did not. They separated them out. And I guess this plays twice a night, whereas the fireworks show plays once. I don't know. Looks interesting.
Well, the obvious numbers question is, and we'll never know, does this boost merch and food sales in there during the show?
Right.
is to draw more people back there. Because if you can't see it from anywhere else but within Galaxy's Edge, that's the purpose.
So it's so funny you say that, because they do have dining packages for this show.
Really?
At Docking Base. Yes, at Docking Base 7. So I like where your head's at, Luke, because apparently it was where Disney's was as well. They're going to get you to spend
Maybe
food
light
and merch
up
one way or
toys?
another. Sorry, Erica?
Maybe light up toys.
Yeah, maybe light up toys. They seem to encourage
That's what
lightsabers
I
to be
like to
part of the
think of.
act.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If they really wanted to make some good money, they would do like a promotion where, like, when you have those packages, like maybe you could, like, you and your date could like get like a meal on top of the Millennium Falcon while watching the show, or from the cockpit or something like that. That would be kind of cool, as long as stuff wouldn't get damaged.
That would be really cool.
And while you're there, they'll give you clippers to trim the weeds.
Yes. Oh, the tree.
As
Not
souvenir,
ready
my
for that,
favorites.
Lou.
As souvenirs, you know.
Bring your gardening gloves.
Yeah,
Right.
bring the gardening gloves, because they're going to need help with getting the Millennium Falcon show ready.
Star Wars, the
Raid of the
Roundup,
Empire.
Indeed.
the
But
planet glyphosate.
on the food merch aspect of it, though, people were really excited about one specific item, that being the Death Star popcorn buckets. Oh my goodness. This was the line at the Tomorrowland Terrace, or Tomorrowland popcorn stand, that sold these buckets. Day one, morning of, that was a line right there. This did go down as time went on and all of that, but big demand.
All the people who were going to sell them on eBay had already bid and gone.
Yes.
Well, there was
Yes.
already an image that went around. I don't know if you have it or not, Vash, but I did see a thing of like a dude carrying like 8 of them.
Right. You know what? I should have brought that up before the show. I did see that one. Let me see if I can find it right here real fast.
lights
I'm
up.
curious,
That's cool.
if you resell these on eBay, about how much profit do you make when you factor in the cost of the bucket and the cost of admission to the park?
Well said. But maybe
Well,
there's
I don't know. I'm
holders.
I'm not planning
you
on
get-
going in the popcorn resale business, but still.
Why wouldn't you?
If you get a magic key discount, that I would assume increases your returns on
Except
this.
you're paying for the magic key.
And you are paying for the magic key, yes. That is true.
So there you go.
Let me see.
Anyway.
here.
I think like they're trying to get some of their budget back, because I feel like they would go to the parks frequently and have some sort of pass. But then again, it's like, if you're doing that much for Disney anyways, is like the time commitment really going to be worth it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know either, to be honest with you. Let me see. I think Disney Scoop Guy has it. But the proliferation of eBay sellers, here we go. I knew he had it, has been a really, really bad thing for the parks experience and merchandise in general. Here you go, right there.
Oh my God.
That's the
Here
one.
it is.
What's in the bags? More stuff.
More stuff, indeed. So, it was terrible. I hate that. But
Inside the bags is all the Splash Mountain merchandise he's about to put on eBay.
yeah, exactly. You saw the last day of Splash Mountain merchandise. It looked very similar to this. My goodness. Oh, and I found this too. We'll go ahead and include that. It's not Tiana that's only having this issue. Well, sometimes.
Oh, Elsa!
Yeah, sometimes Elsa has.
The breakdown
has
never
problems as well.
bothered me anyway.
Woo! So fast on the draw there.
Poor girl is frozen. Help her.
Yeah, frozen, exactly.
Not so good. Wizard, final thoughts.
Yeah, this is interesting because this is in Tokyo, so you don't see all of that in Tokyo. But hopefully, knowing it's Tokyo, I'm sure they'll get that fixed in a couple days or so.
Oh, it's Tokyo. They'll have it fixed in an evening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be working right as rain over there at Tokyo. But sad days
Light
indeed.
as Lane in Tokyo.
Speak-
But anyway,
Speaking of sad days, well, if you're a fan of Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, some bad days coming up right here because, well, it's going to be closed for very distinct period of time in order to be upgraded to version 2 of this attraction. You can see right there detachable blasters, and they're going to be having a number of different enhancements and improvements to this attraction over there at Magic Kingdom. What's very interesting about this is that, and you can see this right here, you can see the video right there a little bit about what they're going to be doing. Let's see, can I play this? Maybe I can play this? I don't know. I might not be able to only because of audio issues, but let me see.
I just hope she doesn't say it's the antithesis of entertainment.
No, I don't think that's going to happen right there. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Let me go ahead and get audio working there. There we go.
Our targets are getting a major upgrade. So all of the static targets you see in the attraction are getting replaced with new interactive targets that will light up and react when hit.
For the first time, guests will now be able to pick up their blasters and move freely around the gameplay space.
We've been testing out these new gameplay elements for a few months, and then we brought the best of the best in the field with us today.
We hope to get a lot of valuable feedback on what's working really well, what's intuitive and easy to understand, and also what's not working so well and confusing. So then we can make the best experience for our guests.
It was so exciting to see the new targets light up in the space, and we're so excited for the future of Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin.
That's all for now. Star Command.
All right, well, you get what they're kind of doing there.
I honestly love this because my only complaint, because I've been wanting to do Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin for years. I remember years ago and years, like decades ago, however long, I saw it on TV and I thought it looked so cool. And I finally got to do it in person. And I love the immersion, the design of it, all the little details from classic Imagineering. But my only complaint was it was the same problem I had with the Men in Black ride at Universal Florida. It just feels like when you hit the targets, it feels very underwhelming and dated. I'm actually for this kind of upgrade. I just need them to stay the heck away from everything else while they're at it. Like, don't touch any of the design because I don't trust y'all. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree with this assessment a lot. This by WDW News today. We got to playtest the new Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin with Walt Disney Imagineering yesterday. It's very similar to the newer versions of the rides in Shanghai and Hong Kong, and likely what's coming to Tokyo. A lot of people have been saying, and Mary Jane's one of them, isn't this basically the Disneyland version? Kinda. I mean, yes. the version that debuted, in 2005 for the 50th anniversary? It is very, very similar to that. However, I guess there's a little bit more to it, which is very encouraging, as Nolan was bringing out right here. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin closing this summer. New ride vehicles and gameplay upgrades coming in 2026. This by Block Mickey right here. What is it? The 26-year-old attraction will be closing starting in August and remain closed until 2026. By the way, that's in addition to Big Thunder. That's also closed for the entire year. So this is a lot of capacity that they're losing for these two attractions. This being an Omnimover, it's a big deal.
Why so long? That makes no sense.
Updates include Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin, new ride vehicles, new blasters, new scoring screen. The ride will also receive updates including new targets to shoot at with animated effects. And there you go. A brand new scene, new ride vehicles. We'll go ahead and put this in the chat if anybody wants to go ahead and get into the deep nitty-gritty of this. But that's the thing, Nolan. This is closing for a long time, at least 6 months from what we are seeing right here.
How many total targets do you suppose there are or will be? 200? 300? 100?
No, I wouldn't say that many. It's probably
less than 1,000.
100.
I'm just saying, how long does it take one guy to take the old one off, reconnect the wires, and put the new one on? And why is it taking this long? How long does it take to take the old ride vehicles off, and assuming the new ones are geared for the same track and everything, put the new ones on? A week?
And what poor timing, too, because we know that they're about to be closing a bunch of other stuff. And, you know, even in Bob Iger's eyes, he feels like this is Epic Universe, from what he said, is going to benefit Disney and mean more of that traffic's coming to him. Even if you put your mind in that foolish ego, this makes no sense because you should not shut down a big ride like this.
Nolan, you're not thinking far
most.
enough ahead. This is going to be his excuse for why they didn't get the business from Epic. Well, we had about half the park shut down. You know, we were doing all these wonderful things. No wonder people went to the one that's new and full, and they'll come back honest.
You're right.
See what I mean? It's a prep for failure, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. I think Disney understands. They know there's going to be attrition at every single level of Walt Disney World, and includes Magic Kingdom, by the way. Now, again, if we're thinking that Epic Universe is going to somehow exceed the annual attendance of Magic Kingdom, think again. That park doesn't even have the capacity in order to do so. But it will, I think, and Disney knows this. I think they're projecting this out. There will be attrition here. There will be cannibalization occurring in Magic Kingdom, which is why
Rash, it's not about Magic Kingdom versus Epic. It's about people who've never tried Islands or the original park either, or the water park.
Yep.
Because that's why Universal's marketing this multi-day pass to multi-parks, because lots of people who go to Disney have never been to any of them.
Right.
For them, Epic is new, but so is Islands, and so is Volcano Bay, and so is the original. So
we're in that category because we've only been to Islands of Adventure years ago. We haven't been to the other side to see the other Harry Potter expansion. We've never been to Volcano Bay. So we fit right into that.
And when you throw in the shops and the restaurants in City Walk and everything else, that's a lot of new stuff for people to say, gee whiz, where was this all my life?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not to mention.
Please. My way through.
Go ahead, Don.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say, and also if you're in a situation, where, say you want to go to Disney before they shut down, I don't know, Rivers of America, Muppet Vision, even it's rumored Star Tours right now. There's a lot of, rumors going around. And a lot of people, when they're making the trip down there, if you're a big fan of the stuff, you want a chance to be able to ride it one more time. We're hoping to hit Muppet Vision on our next trip down there before it closes here later in June. If you're a family, though, trying to figure out, okay, well, we could make this extra trip if we're going to Epic and hit up Disney to hit this stuff. Or, well, hey, did you hear about how Universal might be closing down Men in Black? They're likely going to close down The Simpsons and all that. How about we just stay at, Universal? We've already had such a good trip, and we'll hit the things that we've never gotten a true chance to do, or maybe even a time to do it one more time, because those rides have a storied history and love fan base ahead of them. Men in Black, it's around 20 years, probably over at this point. And Simpsons had a good around 15 to 20 years. So there's a lot at stake with that. And if they think that it's okay, well, they're going to come over here anyways for one last chance, and they're going to ride Space Ranger Spin before we revamp it for a year. I'm sorry, guys. The competition's still knocking at your door, and you can't even use that as an excuse.
Yeah. They're people are going to want to go to Epic Universe and see the newest thing. They're going to want to do that. There's going to be a lot of social media hype and buzz surrounding that park when it actually opens up. I think Disney understands that, look, we won't be able to compete with them in the first year, second year, even the third year. It's probably going to be the fourth year when some of our newest attractions come online that we can actually mount a reaction to Epic Universe proper. So,
and let's cross our fingers they're not broken like all of our most recent newest attractions.
Well, that's the other side of that equation for sure, Leo. But in lieu of that, it's look, let's go ahead and take these attractions down and get ourselves ready for that moment. Go ahead.
I'd like to know what Disney has in place to prevent people from stealing those things, the little shooters.
I think they are attached
to
a cable. Yeah,
okay.
That's
not like they can.
Disneyland.
I see.
Because you know what happened over at the barbecue place with the big pencils.
yeah, the pencils and the sporks and all that.
Gosh.
Of course, indeed.
Yeah,
we go ahead and get Ron on in here, and I want to get his thoughts on this because our next story has to deal with what is going on at Walt Disney World in reaction to Epic, and I think we can expand this out. Ron,
as I bring back Delta Green Flight.
Are you?
Oh, sorry, I was playing. I was shooting.
What to say? Are you playing with those blasters? Stop it, Ron.
Dang blasters!
He's been hired by Disney to shoot the flying dragons down.
I
Duck Hunt.
Look, the fact that this is one at Walt Disney World, right? You're talking about Magic Kingdom?
Yes, this is the Space Ranger spin, as opposed to Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters at Disneyland.
All I was going to say is that I don't think while this is down, anybody is going to miss it with the number of people going into the Magic Kingdom these days that clearly have a buzz already. Because I'm telling you,
Ron.
I know, but it's true. It's really, really sad. Yeah, I'm not. This is not great that they're improving this. I thought they were gonna. I thought this was the one that they were gonna actually change to like something else, like a Zootopia or something. But I guess they're not doing that. I don't really think this is a major deal. I could be wrong, but it just doesn't feel like it's going to change the experience all that much. And certainly nothing, in my opinion, that's going to compete with anything that's at Epic Universe after having spent a little bit of time. And I didn't go in the park Epic, but I was outside of Epic Universe the other day, and what they have going on there is just amazing.
Yeah, you put up a great photograph of the Helios over the wall. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was I was on the 7th floor of Stella Nova, and just taking that out the main public window that's at Stella Nova, and from that particular view, you get a really nice overview. You're right on the backside of Nintendo World, and you're looking across the park, so you can see Helios, you can see Frankenstein's castle, and all that kind of stuff. And it's the park is actually much bigger than it feels, because when I was looking at the Kronos from that point of view, the Kronos was pretty far away. So,
you know, the one element that we haven't seen go in yet that I would think they'd have to have for the press day is the dragon in front of the Pan Asian restaurant there.
No, that's gone in.
Oh, did it? I haven't seen any
Oh,
pictures
yes.
of it.
Oh, yes. I'll go ahead and pull it up in the background right here. Ron, if you had that photo, I'd love to see it. And that way.
Yeah, I think I can. I can send it to you. I was going to ask real quick though, like, and I was watching from the car, so I do apologize. But I was kind of looking at what you had going for the Luke Skywalker walking around.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, did Rachel Maddow get fired from MSNBC with the restroom? Because why is Rachel Maddow playing Luke Skywalker now? I don't get it. That's definitely her haircut.
I saw.
Oh no!
I saw. Reply by mail. I saw you right there.
Justin Bieber.
I didn't have it. I got it.
All right.
I got it right there. But please go ahead and send that to me. And I'm trying to look at the dragon, but the dragon is in. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, did that get canceled or whatever?" Are we ever going to see that? Yes, it is going.
No,
in.
I knew we would. I just hadn't seen it. That's all.
Oh, you're fine. I'll go ahead and find it.
It's sent.
Set.
Not to derail the conversation, but while you're pulling that up, can I make a public service announcement to our beautiful viewers at home?
Please.
Apparently there's an image going around. I don't know if it was put out by Universal themselves, but there's an image going around that's saying that the opening of Epic Universe has been delayed from its May 22nd opening. It is an April Fool's joke, but do not fall for that, people. Like,
of course,
you might get a mini heart attack halfway through reading it, but yeah, just be careful, people.
There. Oh, there. Cool. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah. Good stuff right there. You can see the
I
scale.
thought it was going to be red. I don't know why I expected a red dragon.
No, it's a blue dragon because it's blue. But I think isn't there like blue tile on the roofs of the restaurant behind it that kind of coordinates with it, I think.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up the.
Is that Rhea, the last dragon?
Now I want Chinese food.
Let me see here. It is right here. Hopefully this loads. There you go.
Yeah, the blue lights. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool looking.
Oh, that's really pretty.
By the way, I would like to make a point that I think should be in the Guinness book because it's world shattering. Real life actually looking like the concept art. What a concept.
I know. Yeah. Isn't that great? It's fantastic. Oh,
who the
so
fuck
and the dragon lights up.
I would say it was phantasmic, but then that would mean it was just some imagination, huh?
So good. Before getting on to our next story, we had a slew of super chats come in, and I have been negligent in my duties. So let me go ahead and pull them on screen right now. Go and Shogi with the $5. When they flushed their career down the pipes, did it make a Mario noise? Pew, 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 boop, boop, boop. Yeah. Here's the thing here. I think it sounded a little bit like this. Not good.
The sounds of Moana's Adventure of Water. Or whatever.
I love
Oh,
it.
listen to the land that we all love, flushing down on the folks below from above.
Did it? And somebody made that sound on the carousel at the Magic Kingdom the other day. Oh, well.
Oh, no. I know what you're talking about.
No, you saw that story, right? Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute.
I saw a video.
What? There's video?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, cast members like cleaning. Yeah, they were going back
This
and
is
forth
the problem
cleaning up.
of all the horses be white, you see. It shows.
Oh,
more than-
no.
I was about to
But
send
at
it to
least
you,
on a
Vash,
ride
but
like
then
that,
I
you
was
expect
like,
it to be a
you might not
child.
want it.
Unless
Nolan,
it was an elderly
We're all
person.
children now. That's the
Nolan,
modern
send
age.
it. Just send it to me, Nolan. This sounds terrible.
You know what?
I'll
Just
review
FYI,
it.
I did
Start
not
selling
finish it
the pens.
because, ugh.
Disney
Send
We
it.
should
only have
start selling
high
the
class
pens in
stuff
the
on
merch
this
stores.
show.
Well, in the future, coming up, Genre Guys is going to do Excalibur, the wonderful John Boorman film of the Arthur story. And I used as the thumbnail a picture of Arthur pulling the sword from the stone, and the caption is, "There's supposed to be a carousel behind me." So,
Terrible.
Yes, folks, we only have high-class stuff on this show.
That's the
absolutely.
I didn't know we
That's
had
the-
it, yes.
Oh, you
We
know,
got it.
my sound clip has a whole new meaning with that story about the carousel. Are you ready?
Please.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
That's
And some days you
just
can.
terrible.
Ah.
Here we go. Oh, I see. It's an Instagram story, so that means I have to actually.
I didn't finish the whole thing, so
Doodle.
apologies if anything happens because I wanted to shield my eyes, the sensitive eyes.
Your sensitive
My
eyes.
eyes, my eyes.
My eyes! Oh my gosh. Okay, let's
Sorry,
see.
keep pooping
I'll
up.
pull it up in the background right here. The artist formerly known as John Kukosk, I believe is how we're doing that. $2. Ron, you agree with me. Bring back Dreamflight.
Yes,
Yo, John.
that's what I said. I miss Delta Dreamflight. That was my favorite.
Oh,
I
yeah.
miss it too.
Was that the one where the Delta plane doesn't flip over on its back?
Yeah.
See, times have changed. That's the problem.
Hey, everybody
Alright,
got out
let's see
safe.
here.
That's the important thing.
Yeah, that's very, very good. I'm happy about that. But,
Oh boy, I'm just reviewing the
How it
footage right
went to the
now.
history of aviation. Like it was a cute ride. Then they turned into that.
Ash, I
weird
sent you that picture.
light thing.
Oh. Well, don't worry,
Oh,
Erica.
zooming
brought
in
it up
on
a
it.
minute
Come
ago.
on.
where'd it
Yeah,
go?
I
don't
can't
worry,
show it
Erica,
because he
don't
zooms
worry.
in on it, but it's as bad as you think. Ron, you said you sent something?
Yeah, look in the private chat.
Private chat, okay.
Yeah, you put it up a
since-
second ago. Before this.
Yeah. I did. There we go.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That'd
Absolutely.
be it.
You know what I
Oh,
love
it's-
about this
It's
thing?
gorgeous.
It, just like in the big room in the Ministry of Magic ride, it has such great contrast. It's got sharp lines and sharp colors, even in a beige building, basically. The other guys, that Gensler look is just kind of mall bland, you know?
Yeah.
This is not.
They should have made the roof
yeah.
purple.
Oh, well.
Maybe at night it is. It lights
Golden
up.
slumbers fill your mind.
I'm a little
Indeed.
disappointed
Let's
in the
see.
paint, honestly. I saw the diorama on the table and stuff, and I guess I was expecting more of a bunch of white on it and stuff, and I was thinking they were going to have something a little more simplistic. I like the decor and stuff. I just wouldn't have gone for like bronze. I think I was kind of.
Oh, sure. Sure.
I was
No, I'm
expecting
a
more
building
gold.
snob, so
Oh, well, okay.
I think it makes sense when you're entering into Celestial Park. Go ahead, Erica. You were going to say?
I was expecting more gold. I don't know, just more gold elements, more yellow.
she gets me. This is a golden tier experience.
Inside. What about inside the bar upstairs under that dome? It's very gold.
Unless they did it, yeah. See, I was just gonna say when the sun sets at dusk,
There
then
you
that's
go.
when the color comes. Yeah, that's probably
Right.
why they did it then.
I get that.
Also, too, I've seen the concept art. Don't tell Wizard, but I've seen the concept art for the equivalent hotel at Universal Studios Hollywood, and you can definitely tell that the design aesthetic that they're choosing for these hotels is to be more in line with its direct surroundings. So I think it is meant to
that
be
makes
incorporative
sense.
of the celestial theme. So it's kind of what's going on there.
Speaking of that, when I was at Stella Nova, and even Stella Luna, both of those feel like what I think a Star Wars hotel that was just themed as a hotel for Star Wars that you could go spend the night. They kind of feel they sort of have that aesthetic to it. Like not exactly, but I was walking down there and going, I think this is more what people would have wanted, a Star Wars themed hotel. And a much bigger one. And then when they're walking around the hotel, they get the feeling that they're in the Star Wars universe, but not the 100-room LARPing thing that costs $6,000 a night. So,
well, and the other thing I didn't realize it reminded me of until I happened to see a video some guys did of this is the old TWA terminal at JFK that Saarinen did that's been turned into a hotel. It has that same kind of swoopy linear aesthetic to it,
Mm-hmm.
I see. Well, there you go. Lothran Prime with $5. They've already talked about EU expansions. Yes, given it only just took 5 years to build the entire park, who knows when Disney's out of the woods? That's a very good point because for the entire time that Disney's behind, that's what 3 or 4 years that Universal's ahead, and we know that they can just build so rapidly, so fast. I think I actually have a tweet on the expansion pads available at Epic Universe. It's a lot. Let me see right here if I can find them.
It's definitely a lot. When I was there the other day, that's one of the things that I absolutely noticed is, here's this clearly clear area for where they're going to build in the future.
And a lot of that is because
excavated.
They were using those areas as staging areas, so there was a lot of junk on them, which kind of made them look crowded. But now that they've cleared them and planted grass so that they'll keep the dust down and all that, you can really get a sense of the size of them.
Yeah.
That's a massive pad back there. The one in the back corner, the white.
Right behind Stardust Racers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a brand new land. There's no way that's just going to be an expansion of what they already have.
You can fit.
I like your enthusiasm.
2 lanes in there.
I love the enthusiasm of the potential there, but what are they gonna do if they have an AR shooting riot or something like that, and they gotta replace the targets? That's gonna set them back by at least a year if they want to expand.
Yes, indeed. That'll set them back bigly right there. But the future is bright here. The mom
Well,
499.
that's like going. What if they wanted to build? I don't know, just any kind of a dirt track that's almost generic, but if you put little eyeballs on front of the cars,
there you go.
Terrible. That's the response. The mom with the 499. I haven't been to Disney Florida in 25 years, so I'm missing things, but I have no interest in ever going back. Mostly because of price, but my kids don't like Disney. Tough stuff. I think a lot of kids are not as bought in to Disney as much as we were when we were kids. And that's
There's so much to choose from. You could go see the live-action Little Mermaid. You could go see the live-action Snow White. You could go see the live-action Beauty and the Beast. Can I stop now?
Yeah.
Well, the IP back then were more relevant.
Michael Eisner used to say he felt like kids were born with those 3 circles embedded in their brain, how they took to it. Ain't happening anymore, gang. Ain't happening.
Erica?
Oh, that the IPs aren't as relevant nowadays, what Disney has.
No.
And they keep... and they're going about it the
Erica.
wrong way to push what they already have.
Clearly the IP is coming from the guests on the carousel. That's
Oh,
nuts.
terrible, Ron.
Imodium Imodium product? Is that what you're describing?
Yeah,
It's a trap.
yeah.
Hey,
it's,
Disney, I have an idea for you. Sell more adult diapers in your parks.
like, hey, I saw it in the parking lot. I mean, who throws a Ziploc bag full of urine out of their car and leaves it in the park? That's just disgusting.
Well, but I, listen, they have to take some responsibility for a lot of this. I happened to come across one of these, cops arresting somebody videos that are out there, and it was at Disney, and it was a guy who was seriously screwed up. I would use the F word, but we're a family show. But in addition to having not taken his mental meds, he was totally blank-faced drunk. And I'm going, who served him that way? Who sold him those $17.95 fruit juice and grain alcohol garbage things there,
If we have time, that's going to be one of our discussions right here, because the fights, they're on the rise. And does alcohol play a role in that? We'll have
of course it does, especially at Epcot.
Please tell me the woman in the wheelchair won the fight. Please tell me that.
Well,
If I were a woman in the wheelchair, I'd have a stick. He wouldn't have a chance.
Nice. The wild man of Yavin with $2. 2 for Vash, who cut my super chat off on that park place like a boss. Yeah.
Boom.
I don't quite remember that incident, but hopefully you did like the services that I provided, and I try not to miss any super chat if I can avoid it. But hey, well, some super chats that come in, we can't go there. But hopefully you did appreciate that wild man of Yavin. Well, this brings us to our lead story. I know we're this late, but I wanted to really wait for Ron. Ron, I think you're going to be a pivotal part in this, because I cannot believe what is happening. Well, maybe I should. I should, because I'm looking right at it. Here we go. Blog Mickey. Walt Disney World executives discuss the importance of the Disney bubble. Yes, March 30th is the crucial date right here, because I guess they had maybe a media powwow of some kind. I'm still not sure on this story, but apparently they were giving a presentation in which they were saying the Disney bubble is of grave importance to them. It's really crucial to the Walt Disney World experience. And everybody's kind of like, well, you kind of eviscerated the Disney bubble when you got rid of so many services that, made staying on property a worthwhile endeavor. Now, there's really almost nothing that separates a on bubble experience or on property experience within the Disney bubble from something else that you can find in the surrounding areas. Well, now
except the price.
Except the price. It's a good one right there. But that might be changing here, which is very, very interesting. Here you go. The next day, Walt Disney World begins piloting the return of resort airline check-in service. So, to go over what this actually is, here you go. As you may remember, resort airline check-in is where guests were able to check in their bags at their Disney resort, and the bags would magically appear when they arrived at their destination airport back home. So literally, you give them off at Disney, they take them to the airport for you, put it on your plane, and then they're at the luggage carousel. You don't have to do a thing. Very cool service. And this is kind of the reverse of the Magical Express service, where you would give the airlines your bags and they would magically arrive in your room, which was very, very cool. Now, this is going to be a limited time piloting program here, limited to only Pop Century Resort. Apparently, they're going to be moving this out to other value resorts, and it's going to be limited to Southwest Airlines. But Ron, I really want to get in your head about this. This is a big move here. I remember back in the fall of 2020, they got rid of a lot of these different services, and those services had to fire a lot of employees. Do you think there is a possibility with this that we get back Magical Express?
Yes, I mean, I think that's what they are. That's what they're shooting for. I would hope, and I've heard so many rumors now about the Magical Express coming back, especially at the same time that we're hearing. I think it's actually DeSantis who's talking about maybe having a way for the train, the Brightline train, to come into Disney. They don't have that. They didn't get the pathway they wanted, because I live in that pathway, and we all revolted and said, no, you're not taking our houses. There would have been thousands of homes displaced had Disney gotten their way with that deal, by the way. And I live in an area where I probably would have been one of them, which would have sucked. Anyhow, Magical Express was such a key, and they may have realized that it's such a key to getting people into the bubble and keeping them in the bubble. I do know people who were at least 5 years ago such Disney fans that they did not want to venture out of Walt Disney World. They did not want to even imagine that there was something outside of Walt Disney World in the Orlando area. I do know people that were that big of fans. Now, I don't know if they still feel that way now. I haven't talked to them recently about any of that, but they definitely, they probably are still a handful of people that feel that way. With Disney's Magical Express, you could check in, check your luggage at the airport, arrive at the airport in Orlando, get on the Magical Express, be dropped off at your hotel, go straight to your room, and your bags were there. And then on the reverse, what we're talking about here, you check your bags in at your resort, and they're at your home airport waiting for you on the turnstile when you get off the airline back home, airplane back home. This, by the way, I'm very, very familiar with this particular area at Pop Century, because this is exactly where I went right to work after the resorts reopened, and I was able to get part of my job back, and I had to go to work temporarily as a lifeguard. We used the lifeguards. Right behind this is the arcade. The arcade was our break room. So we would come in and out of this area all the time, and they would do the tie-dye t-shirts there. So I know exactly where this is at Pop Century. It's funny just seeing the picture and my mind goes back to work 4 years ago. Wow, it's this, anything that they can do right now, honestly, anything that Disney could do to compete with Epic Universe, with Universal, is needed. And this is why, and I'm trying to stress this as much as possible. As far as the actual land is concerned, you don't technically have a Universal bubble. But what you do have is 4 theme parks, 3 of which are owned by Universal, and the 4th one is SeaWorld, which is an animal-centric park with roller coasters. You have all 4 of those parks and 2 water parks in Volcano Bay and Aquatica by SeaWorld. All 4 of those parks and 2 water parks are in a smaller geographic location than all of Walt Disney World. A lot of people don't realize that. Now, they're not in a bubble. There's other stuff around them, but that's huge when it comes to Walt Disney World itself, because if you've ever been to Walt Disney World, and let's say it was the first time you were there and you drove down and you're like, everything's got to be right together. And then you're staying at All-Star Sports or worse, All-Star, what is it, music or movies is way in the back. All-Star Sports is in the front. You're staying at the very back one, right? And you're like, but I'm on property. Then you have to drive to Animal Kingdom, which is not super far. And then one day you have to drive to Magic Kingdom. You're like, wow, it's a 15-minute drive from my on-property hotel to the Magic Kingdom. And then I park, and then it's another 30 minutes before I can get from the TTC into the Magic Kingdom, because I got to wait in line for the monorail or for the boat. And then that goes over. And it's like, there's a lot of travel time in your day at Walt Disney World. That is why they want people to stay in the bubble, because if you get in there but you don't have a car and you're doing all your transportation free through Disney, and you have extra magic hours and perks that they can give you, then you are going to much more likely stay on Disney property, taking only a Disney vacation. It's what the Disney difference used to be, and it's not there now. So maybe they're actually taking steps to bring the Disney difference back.
I think
the idea is to keep everyone in the bubble so they'll spend more money and spend all their money in that bubble. So people that opt out of having car rentals, using Ubers and Lyfts, and only solely want to rely on Disney transportation, you're literally stuck on Disney property. It's hard unless you want to spend the extra money to go out of your way to go off-site. But the idea is to keep you in the bubble so you will spend money in that bubble and whatever by whatever means necessary.
And
they shut
almost more importantly than you will spend it there is that you won't spend it with the other guys. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So because everybody's only got so much for that vacation, and what percentage one side or the other gets is a big deal. My question is, we are so many years later and the world has changed so much. If I use this service as they're beginning to do it, and I get to my home airport and my bags aren't there, who do I start complaining to? To Southwest, to Disney, to the TSA? And that's another thing. The TSA asking you, has anybody touched your bag since you, 14 Disney people and a couple of Southwest people and a couple of bus drivers. And this is a different world. It'll be real interesting. And I don't know that you can get this back the way it was ever. And it was
Lou, you'll never be able to complain to a person. Somebody will direct you to an app in which an email will be automatically sent, and then AI will check into that for you.
Well, you know what, Ron? One of the funniest and most brilliant customer service moments I ever witnessed. I was at baggage claim at American Airlines in LAX, and there was a guy absolutely swearing to high heaven, yelling at the lady who was in charge of finding lost bags, and she maintained her decorum. And at one point, she turned to him and said, "Sir, there may be one thing you haven't realized. At this point, there are only two people in this world who care where your bags are, and I'm rapidly losing interest." And you know what? It got to him. She did it all with a smile, but he suddenly said, "Oh, shit, I goofed, didn't I?" And it was like, I thought that was one of the most brilliant customer service comebacks I'd ever seen. It still is.
Very nice. Yeah, I just hope that I hope that when they're addressing this, they are not talking about the Disney Burbank ideological bubble that they've clearly been living in for way too many years with no outside input whatsoever, because that is a Disney bubble nobody wants anymore.
I mean, it's so bad that if you ask for directions to go anywhere off-site or to Universal, the cast members won't. They're not allowed. But if you go to Shades of Green, if you go to Shades of Green, if you're military, they will give you all the information to all the Orlando local attractions. But if you go to a cast member that's on Disney, like the Disney people, not your NAF GS job people, they won't give you directions. They'll just maybe tell you, sorry, I don't have that information, go to Google.
Gatekeeping knowledge.
It was years ago.
Wow.
To be fair, Erica, more and more of the cast members don't know how to give you directions within a park anymore. So it's gotten.
I know once upon a time they wouldn't even help you in that way. Like if you were there on vacation to want to go see more than just Disney, they wouldn't even give you any information to, like, for SeaWorld, Universal, nothing. You were on your own. But if you were military, you were kind of in this unique situation where you could at least go to Shades of Green and they would, because it's basically like going onto a military installation. So they'll give you all the information you want.
Ron, when you described that bubble being wider at Universal, you left out a very key ingredient in it: the convention center.
Oh, I mean,
it's literally a walk to Epic, and therefore the ride on their buses to go to the rest. And that's where the train's going to end right now, right?
Yeah, and what is really interesting about that in particular is that you have hundreds, and I'm talking literally hundreds of thousands of people that go to those conventions at the convention center. So if they get any kind of a deal, like maybe after hours at Epic closes down to the public at 9 p.m., but convention guests can go from 9 to 3 or something like that. For half the price. Oh my gosh. I mean, Epic has so many ways of raking it in right now. Also, we took the bus ride from the parking lot at Universal proper over to Epic, and it was 10 minutes, I think. Not bad at all. And it was, a really convenient bus. I mean, let me tell you, when we talk about the Disney bubble, that felt like the Universal bubble. It's obviously not exactly the same thing, but you've got your own lanes. Once we got to a certain point, there was no traffic around us. It was just our Universal bus going straight to Terra Luna Resort. It was really, really cool. All the buses
I know
are brand new.
I know I'm boring repeating this, but it isn't like there weren't other people who recognized this, even though Disney didn't. And the example I always give is that Westin W Hotel going in next to the Lunas and the Terras with a 2,000 seat show venue, for God's sakes. They're going to draw people after dark. They're going to draw like crazy.
There's a lot of show venues around there. Pirates Dinner Theater is right around the corner from Epic.
There you go.
There's all kinds of, and I'm really, really happy for them because they almost lost all their money a long time. Their whole venue got ripped apart by a hurricane, and I have a lot of friends that work at Pirates, so they're doing very well now. But I think that this is it's gonna revitalize the International Drive District, which some areas need some serious revitalization there. It's
and
so
the
exciting.
Ones that
and
couldn't afford it before are going to have to stay in business because they're going to look so shoddy compared to the new stuff.
And it's just, I only feel bad for the people living in the apartment complex that's literally a stone's throw away from Stella Nova, because when they first moved in there, they probably didn't think, hey, in a few years, we're going to be right back up to a theme park.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough right there. That's for sure. Now, I will say for the Universal Bubble, the one big advantage they have over Disney right now, if you stay at one of those deluxe properties that Universal has over there, you get Express Pass included. That's a big perk right there. And, that I think that's what sets them apart. I think this is very, very interesting. Today, of all days, April 1st, why would you do this? Today, of all days, Disney took one step further into reestablishing their bubble and trying to persuade people back to their side of the tracks, freeway. I'm not sure. That Park Place, Disney will open both water parks at the same time this summer amid epic universe pressure from Universal. This is by Marvin Montanaro right here. For the first time since 2019, yes, folks, 6 years, Walt Disney World will operate all 6 of its parks simultaneously this summer, including both water parks, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. This move, effective from May 21st through September 7th, 2025, is already being interpreted as a strategic counter maneuver or counter move to Universal's Orlando's forthcoming mega expansion epic universe right here. Well, isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? What a little competition we'll do. They didn't.
Well, the other story the other day that
Please.
we all kind of guessed wrong when we said that deal where, you get a perk, you can go to the water park on the day you arrive, would be useless to half the people because they didn't get there in time to really take advantage of it. I suspect people are either planning their driving trips or staying at motels somewhere close so they can check in the early AM and go, because they said that the parking lot is reaching capacity at the one park that's open early in the day now. Yeah.
A lot of people have figured out how to use that.
Yeah.
Lots of people have figured out how to use that, and they're getting there early or they're flying. And another thing from what I have learned is that it's a lot of Floridians that are using that perk that are coming. They're in within the state or
into a cheap motel the night before, and then the first thing in the morning go do your check-in so you can get that deal. Yeah.
Go ahead, Ron.
No, I'm saying the exact same thing. It's local Georgia, which is not very far, but also mostly Florida, and then you've got Alabama. You got some very, very close states, and it's sort of like a generalized local area taking advantage of this in a huge way, because you can come down and have like your 3 nights, but your first day is at this water park, and then a couple days at Disney World, and you're out.
Of course, in Alabama, the Tuscaloosa, but as Groucho once put it.
Go ahead, please.
Vash, I actually had a question for you here. So you said this would be the first time since 2016 that all the parks were 2018. Sorry, that all the parks are going to be open simultaneously. Does that also include Disney's River Country? Is that going to reopen as well?
No, River Country.
Therein lies a tale.
River Country is a hotel. It's already they're already building it up.
Yep, already building it up right there. I forgot what Lakeside Lodge. I don't. It was Reflections. Now it's something else. I can't remember.
I still call it Reflections. But yeah, I mean, I was there the other day, and it's on the rise.
It's on the
DVC
rise, indeed.
Everything is DVC at Disney.
What?
Just
Yeah,
when people are
that's-
deciding they don't need it because they're not going back every year.
Yeah.
Great timing.
If Disney placed as much emphasis on the actual theme parks themselves as they do on DVC, we would have the best parks on the planet. Unfortunately,
That's
though,
true.
DVC drives the.
And what
revenue
is
right
the
there.
major difference?
Hmm.
DVC, they can raise the maintenance fees and you can't complain
That's
or
true.
not pay, as opposed to you raise the fees at the parks and I'm not going.
Right. Indeed.
I know a
Um,
lot of people who use DVC now and go to the other parks. They don't go to Disney.
Yeah,
They stay at
right.
Disney and go to Universal.
I've seen a lot of that, by the way, for sure. I think the big thing here is it's very interesting that they're that capacity is becoming an issue at these water parks right here, because for a long time they weren't well attended at all. That's why they actually had the cadence of, okay, let's go ahead and close one, open the other, that kind of thing. Now that's changing right there. Obviously do that offer, but we're probably going to get even more with the return of Epic, or with the opening of Epic Universe May 22nd, 2025. Now, the other thing attached to this too is because Epic Universe is opening, I think the opening year attendance, they're projecting like 10 million first year. Now, only 2 parks in Florida have ever achieved that. That's Magic Kingdom and Epcot. This is very ambitious for Universal to set that target for them, and that means they're going to have to achieve about 30,000 guests a day, which is I would suspect darn near capacity for that park in order to achieve that number.
Yeah, and
If
it's 4
that
months
is-
into the year. It's
Right.
not January through December.
Yes, well, I think they are doing the whole year in
May to
that
May.
scenario.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so if you divide it up 365, it's roughly 10 million if you have 30,000 people in your park. But in order to get that, I've been talking with an industry expert who does a lot of business with hotels and so forth. And they were telling me, look, the bookings, they're higher, but they're not super high. So those guests will have to come from somewhere. And they're likely going to come from from Disney's parks themselves. I think that's why Disney's getting so aggressive with reinstating the bubble, with putting these 2 water parks back online again, with these steep discounts that we're hearing. I think they're projecting out that Epic Universe is going to get a lot of this business, and more so than they have previously led on.
And if I may use a Dread character who once was at Disneyland, Aunt Jemima, what took you so long?
Exactly. Indeed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's oh, wait, you mean they're doing something down the road? Golly, we better do something about it. Yeah, right.
Let's hope.
No, if it's too late. People have been booking early for Universal to get in, to have the opportunity and the chance to go to Epic Universe. Like people's
and one
tickets
more thing.
and hotels are booked.
One more thing about that, and I guess this leads maybe to the story involving that picture that the Wizard had up. Universal is just now beginning to market this thing beyond the theme park and resort community. You're suddenly seeing stories about it in places like Travel and Leisure and in Fortune and in all these big mainstream magazines that don't normally cover, what's the latest ride and what's the latest popcorn bucket. And I think that's intentional. So I think the bookings will continue to rise as people who aren't aware of this are made aware of this and are made aware of, hey, maybe this is really something worth going to see. But that brings us to that. I don't know if you want to do that story or not, Vash, but about this preview of Epic that they're taking to 4 cities with a portal.
The tour. I was just bringing that up right now.
I heard about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's actually really smart marketing.
It really tempts me to drive down to Atlanta for the day and see it. I got to tell you.
So Universal Studios is actually going on tour in order to hype up the opening of Epic Universe in 4 distinct locations. I believe it was it was
Atlanta.
it was Atlanta, Georgia. It was New York. It was Pennsylvania. It was also Chicago, Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. Those were the 4 states at least. Here you go. Here's a little bit of that for you. I gotta find the official announcement because that was actually something I missed when we were
they're
going
bringing
up.
a portal with them.
Yes, 30 feet tall, by the way.
Yes.
Portable portal.
Yes.
Yes. The let's see here. It is. You can see what that portal actually looks like. It's essentially the entrance portal for the actual park itself. But yes, they're going on the road here. They are promoting this big league right here, and I thought the inclusion of Pennsylvania was actually Philadelphia. That is, Pennsylvania was actually a big deal because that, I believe, is like the #1 market, or at least that's what they were suggesting back in the 1980s when I was reviewing some documents. That Pennsylvania was like the biggest state for visitation to Walt Disney World resort right there.
Really?
So, yes. Yep.
That's
It was
interesting.
#1, #2, but it was huge for them. So the fact that they're setting up in Pennsylvania, the fact that they're setting up in places like New York, Georgia, they understand where Disney's butter is bred domestically. They're going after it directly.
Its bread is buttered. The butter is not bread unless they're growing.
Yes. Where it's
what you call it?
where it's
Incrediburgers. They're growing them in a lab. The butter.
I see.
Anyway,
Yeah, where it's
but they're
bread
going
is
where the
butter.
population is.
Yes.
And Atlanta's relatively close, but beyond that, it's a trek to get there. And by golly, they're enticing people to do the same. And then when you add in, as I've said a million times, the audience growth factors of Frisco and of the Vegas Halloween thing, and then that funny factoid we found last week, Vash, about how there's now a guy in charge of, quote, Pacific Rim for Universal, which is all the Asian parks and Hollywood as a group. Wow. That's...
Yes. And by the way, that Pacific Rim, what is it? I guess
COO,
executive.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, in charge of both Universal's Hollywood and the Beijing park, right? Both of them are experiencing big expansions. Now, nothing's been revealed for Hollywood because I think they're wanting to get past Epic Universe. But I'm telling you, folks, we're going to be seeing a huge growth in that specific resort right there.
And just as we were talking about the bubble versus Universal and all that, it's going to move the center of gravity of tourism back up to LA from Orange County.
Yep.
It just is. To some degree. It just got to.
Well, look, if you're building...
Although, did you see Six Flags close Superman Forever?
Yeah! I was gonna bring that up right there.
I love that ride.
I know, it's so problematic, though. This by Brady McDonald, Six Flags Magic Mountain permanently closes Superman coaster.
It was one of the very first linear induction launch coasters ever.
Yes.
And it was straight up to the top, and then it fell back. And then after a while, they switched it so the cars were backwards, so you were facing down when you came back down.
Let's see if I can get a POV for you.
It was just a great coaster. I loved it.
Is that similar to Mr. Freeze?
I don't know. I've never been on Mr. Freeze.
We just lose Bash?
It was just
Mr.
straight up,
Freeze.
straight down.
Mr. Freeze at Six Flags was a launch coaster, and then you would end up going straight up and then coming back down. So I think it's very similar.
Wow. Dreamer just cut me out there.
Nope.
Here, I'm trying to get a POV for you real fast to provide what this was like, because literally it was straight up and then rolled back into the station. That was it.
Bash, do you know Six Flags St. Louis very well at all? I'm just wondering if it's like Mr. Freeze, because Mr. Freeze does that similar type of thing.
Yeah, I think it was less. It was less than Mr. Freeze, but I know what you're talking about right there. Okay. Let me see if what you see on video will reveal maybe what we're doing here.
Speaking of Mr. Freeze, I saw a curious little factoid earlier today Do you know that the original character in the comic books was Dr. Ice? And that when the Batman TV show changed it because they thought that was too obscure, they then changed it in the comics and changed the character to Mr. Freeze.
Dr. Ice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And he is actually a doctor, right?
Yeah. Here it is. Oh, boy. This was such fun. Remember, nobody'd been on really a linear induction coaster before, so that pickup of speed to like 50, 60 miles an hour on that straight run and then going straight up and you're going, it's going to shoot off the end. And
I heard it was nearly 100.
Maybe it was, but it was fast. And you saw the brakes up there, but then you fell back. And then later, like I say, they turned the cars around so that you went up backwards and came down face down.
Right.
That's so cool.
And so you can see right here, this is from Coaster Studios. Let me see if I can bring this up on another tab here.
Love Coaster Studios.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Nope.
Just provides you a little bit.
It was, Erica,
more
it was
more
real
B-roll here.
smooth and real quick. And I don't think you would have been, I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. I really do.
Yeah.
I love how... Good.
But
and yeah, Superman was up there on top to be looked at when you got up close.
I love the theming at the gate too. It looks right out of Superman 1 and
Fortress of
Superman
Solitude,
2.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Because you
theming
have to
at the
understand,
game is very
up
good.
on that hilltop, there was nothing else but that and that sky tower. Here's the thing, yeah.
Oh, he's got the Superman 90s hair in the instruction things too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, this was awesome. Now they had big problems in its initial run there. I think this was early Intamin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Big problems, so big delays, big issues. They eventually got it working well enough, but they've always had kind of problems with it. Very high maintenance for Six Flags Magic Mountain right here, and apparently the war on these kind of record-breaking coasters. Well, apparently it's going on here. Wall and Ball in here. The war on Six Flags record-breaking coasters continues by Richard Zimmerman. Richard Zimmerman being the previous CEO of Cedar Fair. Hard to argue at this point that Cedar Fair Six Flags merger was a merger of equals, given that Cedar Fair essentially acquired Six Flags and is now detonating its parks.
That's
it's kind
a
of
little
sad to see.
exaggeration. Detonating.
Well,
But I mean,
Caw.
they got a
Where's
bit
King
of a
Caw?
point. Yeah, exactly. Like now, granted, King Caw was going to be a lot of money due to the situation it was facing, but
Huge.
it's when you get I know it's puff pieces and stuff, but when you get all this stuff where they're saying it's going to be great for our company, we're doing the handshake photo and all that, you need to give it. Disney can learn a thing or two from this. You need to give your fans some reassurance that everything's going to be okay and you have a lot of great things coming. This merge isn't going to be a disaster. It's going to be, hey, everything's going to be better from here on out. What we're seeing right now is this one's dead. King Ca's out. What's next on the chopping block?
Yeah,
I don't like this move.
But this one, Six Flags Magic Mountain, is known, and accurately so, as the most coasters in one park anywhere. And it has 20. So when they took this out, now you've got 19, but they're building a new one that'll bring it back to 20. So it isn't in a vacuum of, well, we're not putting anything else in. So,
True.
It's just a neat ride. That's all. And I miss it. End of
Apparently,
story.
the
Is this in
Doom
California?
Freefall.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is Valencia.
Okay.
Therefore, a
Valencia.
stone's throw from Universal.
The Freefall attraction that you're seeing right now on screen will remain. So the tower will remain. That's very interesting.
Nope.
But Superman will be gone. That's kind of a shame right there.
Wait, they were on the same tower?
It was added later.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's like King
I
Caw.
didn't even know that.
It's a King Cop. So it didn't start out that way. It was retrofitted in order to make use of the tower. But yes.
I used
King
to
Caw,
work at the top
Oh,
of the
you
Stratosphere
beautiful
Tower.
idea.
No.
No!
Big shot.
Ash!
Sorry.
Think
We
of
had
the
to go
children,
over it,
man.
Nolan. We have to go over it, Nolan. We have to live the pain. Go ahead, Ron.
No, I was wondering why there was a Airbnb commercial that popped on there for a second. No, I was.
I need a vacation after seeing that, Ron.
What occurs
No,
to
it's
me is
really
I
interesting
wonder.
because we focus so much on the parks at Disney and Universal, And we oftentimes overlook there's so many other parks. Obviously Dollywood, we do talk about that. Silver Dollar City doesn't get enough attention for the amazing park that park is, and we sometimes we forget all of these other wonderful places that there are for people
And
to go.
they just bought Raging Waters and Boomers and one more in Southern California. But the big question I have, if the center of gravity, as I said, shifts north into LA, who it could hurt is Knott's. More than Disney even. Because it's like if you're at Disney, Knott's is 5 minutes away, and well, let's go over there too and have some chicken and ride some rides. But I don't know. I don't know.
I've still never been to Knott's. I can't believe I haven't been to Knott's very far.
Wow.
You got to go to Knott's.
I know.
I've had the boysenberry cookies. I found them. I found a bag of them at like TJ Maxx or Ross. It was a random thing. They were good. I got to Knott's.
Great at Knott's is the boysenberry syrup funnel cakes. Those are really good, and the pie of course is great. And that was my family. Part of it came from the Midwest, from Minneapolis, St. Paul, and that was the only place in Southern California that my grandparents could get rhubarb. Was at the Knott's restaurant as one of the vegetable choices, because nobody knew for rhubarb in LA. So anyway, never removed the man's rhubarb.
I eat my way through theme parks. I'm like Miss
But
Pac-Man.
the steakhouse at Knott's was pretty good.
Don't go to Hershey Park.
Why?
That's on the bucket list.
Just
It's
chocolate
been on there for years.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, that's
They
just
did a
about
Milka Park.
yeah. I don't think food is necessarily a strong suit at Disney anymore anyway, because the food program was kind of lacking. But some of those other parks, like Knott's Berry Farm, for example, good stuff right there.
Yeah.
They would go just for dinner. They wouldn't even go in the park. They would just park and go to dinner and look at the shops and come home.
Right.
I would.
With some biscuits and
has amazing
and that jam.
You can buy
cinnamon bread over at Dollywood. Apple
the
pie,
apple butter, the homemade apple butter at Silver Dollar City. That is literally made on the site. It just die for.
I'll have to try that. I'm an apple butter fan.
Apple butter's so good, and of course you can't beat the music and all that other stuff. There's a lot more in this world than Disney and Universal, even though
there's a great big beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every Disney day.
That's right.
So Holiday Park out here has been bought out and they're revamping it. So I'll have to get more info on that. Yeah, that's the closest theme park to us. It's literally like 30 minutes from us.
Interesting. Please.
Eric,
that park really needed
there.
Erica looks a little bit like a bride.
Yeah.
With the
yeah. It's
I'm sure to bring your death certificate.
Sometimes it looks like a coffin. The way
no. I think it's because I have a wedding to go to in a few days.
I see. Well,
good
that
luck.
just about concludes our show
gave me an
here.
idea,
Actually, oh, you're just was the bride of the Haunted Mansion there, Eric?
No, he just gave me an idea to make it look like a coffin for my Dark Universe backdrop later this year.
I like that.
I sent you a picture of Dark Universe.
Yes. Let me see if I can get that on screen right now. I actually have to.
I know we're much
story on the back channel that shows the castle in Europe that the manor was copied from.
Yes.
The Dark Universe version of Neuschwanstein, so to speak.
It's a pretty striking facsimile, by the way, in terms of its inspiration. You can see right there that was the photo that Ron took. But I actually have to.
At night, it looks like lightning is striking that tower. They've got lights going on it. It's hard to describe, but it's amazing.
Wires,
very, very cool.
Cables, and stuff.
This angle you took, Ron, I just can't help but picture like what's going on the other side of the camera. I'm picturing like one of those gargoyles like Batman does with the binoculars, trying to get that perfect picture or something like that.
I was in a hotel. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Let me live my fantasy.
The hallway was behind me. We had just climbed up 7 flights of stairs.
Stairs?
Yeah, because I didn't want to go all the way back to the elevator bank, which was in the middle of the hotel. We were on the 3rd floor.
Oh, I see.
And so I'm like, but there's stairs right there at the end. So I'm like, let's, instead of walking back, going up and then walking, let's just walk up. It was no big deal. So we got our leg day in.
I guess.
Well, that just about concludes our show right here. I gotta get you all over to Mr. H in a good hurry, and I am actually in a hurry myself. So usually I would have everybody come on and actually promote their channels one by one. Unfortunately, I've got to expedite this just a little bit. Before I get to that, though, the Wild Man of Yavin with $10. Thank you so much for that. Nothing but love for you all. Gotta get back to reading John Bell. It doesn't read itself. For Vash, like a boss, way to flex. Well, you flex plenty here, and I just want to thank everybody for supporting us today, like the Momgo and Shogi. He also mods for us, Hawthorne Prime, the artist formerly known as John. It's just the Wild Man of Yavin, of course. Everybody, thank you so much for donating as much as you do, and for everybody on the panel who donates their time in order to be a part of these shows. It's a big deal. Theme Park Wizard. If you haven't already subscribed to him, please go ahead and subscribe to Theme Park Wizard. He's putting out some amazing content right there, mostly from Universal's Hollywood, but he has some great insights into the rumors going on for all of Universal's theme parks. And honestly, you got Alicia Stella there, sure, but for my buck, I'll trust Wizard any day of the week. You also have Ron from Follow the Bradleys Fun. He's producing content over there on the regular. In fact, we just redirected from Hollywood Backlog with Lou and you on Sunday to a premiere of his video, which was awesome to see. Definitely check him out. Nolan Thunder, of course, going on over there. I'm putting all these links in the chat, by the way. So if you can go ahead and subscribe to them if you want to. Yes, Nolan Thunder, the amazing. By the way, were you able to post your video that you've been working on for many months, sir?
No, it's still not done yet. I'm trying.
I see. Well, go ahead, subscribe over to Nolan Thunder, and
you
hit
know
the
how
bell
that goes, don't you, Vash?
I do, yes. Thank you, LW. We'll get to you in just a moment right there. Go ahead and subscribe to Nolan, turn on your bell notifications, so that way when he does post his video, you'll be the first one to know about it. And of course, Erica from Erica and Raph right there. I know you've taken a little bit of a hiatus, but I know you're going to get right back in there with some fresh new content. So
when
please
you turn
subscribe.
the chair into the veil for the bride, you got to have the red beating heart on your chest too. Just like in the picture.
That's a good one right there. That's a good one. And last but not least, LW goes for over there doing the genre, guys. I know they have a couple coming out. One, I think, being Disney's Robin Hood, which
Disney's
is
Robin Hood we just recorded. We're doing Excalibur, and we're doing Crimson Tide as kind of a late tribute to the great Gene Hackman. And we just did Looker and Big Trouble in Little China. And those of you who got free memberships over on the Pro channel can see most all of those and more now. But they come here to T3PO 3 months later for freebies. So either way, enjoy. And that's, of course, Lauren and Angry and I, and occasionally Nolan as a special guest genre guy. So, and that's what we do. We take a movie and we dive deep.
Dive deep indeed, and they are wonderful to listen to and edit, which still working on that. Didn't know Bro was going to have a live stream. That's kind of messed the schedule up a little bit, but it is coming out this week. I promise you. Do not worry about that, and you'll be notified if you hit that bell notification button on this channel right now, that bot plays, of when we go live and when a new video is released right there. I know I'm releasing the Lost Guys on a regular basis. Genre Guys is coming up, and it'll be awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. This was a lot of fun going over the theme park news right here. There was a lot, so thank you so much for being part of that journey.
Before you leave, hit a like, everybody.
Hit that like button right there. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Go to the chat. Subscribe to all these great panelists that you see on the screen right now. And we will see you next week, 3 p.m. Eastern, for T3PO Live. And this Sunday on Hollywood Backlog with Lou and you. Take care, everybody.